I'm Snow White. I have some things to say about that awful 2025 dumpster fire of a Disney movie with the unfortunate name of Snow White, where they turned me into an embarrassing, obnoxious parody, all supposedly for the sake of modernizing. If they wanted to give it a modern look, they could have just put it in the present, with all of today's conveniences, along with a touch of magic, and left out the bad identity politics. Instead, Disney decided I should be Snow White. In name, only not a princess with class, but a cardboard cutout loud-mouthed girl boss who don't need no man. Fake Snow White belts out forgettable songs, preaches about kindness and fairness, which she does not have, and bosses her creepy CGI flunkies around while she naps. She doesn't even look like me, and that was Disney's deliberate, politically correct decision. The Disney company came up with a crazy lie about me, all because of supposed diversity, inclusivity, and equity. That company used to be reputable. They have such swelled heads now that they wouldn't even consider casting me as myself in my own story. In the most laughable attempt to explain this away, they made up a ridiculous lie about how I got my name. Disney claims I was named after a snowstorm during which I was born. That's a lie, and it judges anyone as being brainless enough to accept it as fact. Naming a baby after a dangerous snowstorm would be like naming your daughter Windy because she was born during a tornado, or naming her Massacre because she was born during a killing spree that you and she survived, or naming your son Flu because you had the flu when he was born. The truth, I was named because of my appearance, which was way too important for Queen Grimhilda. The snow came into play when she was pregnant with me. I was not born during a snowstorm. My birthday is in spring. But Disney upholds this saying, never let the truth get in the way of a good story, a sentiment I detest. Also, their idea of good has become questionable at best. I'm just not the right skin tone for them now. So they got Rachel Zegler for a couple of reasons, and talent has nothing to do with it. They wanted her because she is not considered white, and this is apparently incredibly important to Disney, who should be renamed Wokeney. Disney wanted their woke girl boss message to flood theaters and brainwash little children, but they wanted it rolled out in a sneaky, subtle way. They were hoping the adult fans would be oblivious enough not to catch it and open up their wallets. There is no way in heck I would ever fall for a thieving gangster. And I don't have to be a leader and boss everyone around to be strong. And it's not just me they've treated like garbage. I'm going to straighten this story out once and for all. I was not in any way assaulted or molested by my prince, and he is not a stalker. He and I knew each other before my poisoning, and we had become girlfriend and boyfriend. But we had to be very discreet or risk getting into trouble with Queen Grimhilda. He kissed me out of love because he thought I was dead and was saying goodbye. He was also sorry we did not get this opportunity when I was still alive, as it were. So for Rachel Zegler to slander him as weird and a stalker is what is truly weird and gross. And for Disney to be just fine with that is obscene.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
That is not mere dismissiveness. Rachel Zegler is dripping with contempt toward me and my prince. She shows a hateful bigotry against people from the early 21st century.
There's a big focus on her love story.
No, there is not. Maybe that is what a lot of people wish to focus on. But my story is about living through a nightmare caused by the Queen, and finding friends and, yes, love along the way. I do not need woke checkboxes to find empowerment. Woke people have no right trying to dictate who or what I may need.
With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah. No! What a vicious lie! He just happened to see me at the wishing well, and he made his presence known. I was not afraid of him. I just didn't want him seeing me in the frumpy outfit the Queen forced me to wear at that time. Even when you're in the crush stage, you naturally want to look your best for the one you start having feelings for.
Weird.
What's truly weird is Disney trying to fill children's heads with this I don't need no man, toxic femininity.
Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Disney should have left well enough alone this time. My great friends, you know them as the Seven Dwarfs, they got replaced by these weird, nightmarish CGI creations that are nothing like them.
Weird.
Even the mirror got dumped on. Disney made him look like a piffling idiot over the word fairest. If that mirror really meant fair as in kind and good, he never would have told Queen Grimhilda she was the fairest of them all before suddenly telling her that I was it. All she cared about was looks, and that was all he was assigned to report. If he was meant to report on who was the fairest as in good, Queen Grimhilda would have been beaten out by most of the population on the very first day she spoke to the mirror. Hello!
I'm a narcissist.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable? That sounds a lot like tyranny to me.
Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights.
Big lie. Trump, who was voted in as U.S. President in 2025, would not force anyone to have or not to have children. That whole stupid abortion issue needs to be taken right out of politics altogether. No one will ever agree on what is or isn't right. But there are differing laws on it from state to state, and that's up to them, not the federal government. Rachel Zegler is so paranoid from belief in left-wing politics that she believes a Trump vote would force her daughter to have a baby. Rachel does not have a daughter, and it is telling how sexist she is for having a baby gender preference. She is not all that different from Queen Grimhilda.
Come on, go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Rude and unfriendly as that is, Rachel Zegler said even worse, wishing Trump, those who would vote for him, and other Trump supporters would have no peace. No peace. Just think of that. Disney encouraged this atrocious attitude when they chose not to give her the pink slip immediately after she said this.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Wokeney tripped all over itself, trying to be politically correct, and they just made a gargantuan mess of it all. They arrogantly assumed to take the moral high ground with this heavy-handed approach and show this company to be full of double standards. They've dumped on their potential audience many times before with very unfair judgments of racism or sexism. They've fired someone for daring to speak her mind because she said something that didn't quite align with their politics. It took them years to do likewise to another actress, Rachel Zegler, who preached their kind of politics. The only reason they dropped her was because she was just a little too bold about it. And she helped cause that awful so-called Snow White movie to flop. The only thing Rachel Zegler did wrong by that company was to charge in with the message like a bull moose and blow their insidious plan right out of the water.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yep. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
The justifiable backlash followed. And this time, it wasn't just social media comments Disney could dismiss and troll as racist or sexist. Fans let Disney off far too easy when the company did that to them in the past. They still showed up for the movies. Disney still got their money. Wokeney's redefinitions just fall flat as they try to hit everyone over the head with their politics instead of telling a story without a left-wing bias. Now, the fans finally had it, and they hit Disney where it hurt, the cash box. Disney only turned against Rachel Zegler in a pathetic bid to win the fans back. I can only hope Disney will never attempt another remake of any kind about me or any story worth telling. I am happy that movie has flopped hard. It is poetic justice. Disney started out with their first movie, the one about the real me. How funny the twisted piece of detritus 2025 remake could potentially help bring down that corrupt money-grabbing company. Walt Disney himself would be thrashing in his grave if he knew what a twisted thing his company turned into.